It's now time to clear off some of the extra clutter on the table and put the machine together. There's only really three main parts of the machine, and that is this focusing arm, the laser head, and of course the base of the machine. Assembly is going to be very straightforward. I just need the small parts bag of screws and the included wrenches. I'm going to start out by carefully placing the laser head off to the side, making sure I have a nice clean surface and access to the motor output shaft here. This attaches to the bottom of this focusing arm. And I'm allowed to have this threaded screw come all the way out, and this is going to really help me get this coupler aligned up to the flat spot on this motor output shaft. I was having some troubles getting this coupler on the motor shaft. It wasn't fitting on all the way. It wasn't until I rotated the coupler and I realized that there's set screws on both sides of this coupler. After I loosened both of those up, making sure one of them is facing the flat, I can now place the coupler on top and it goes all the way down to the bottom. And I am going to tighten up the screw that has the flat towards that motor shaft first. And then I'll tighten up the other side. Once that's complete, I can carefully lower the frame of this focusing arm down. And now there's just 4 screws attaching this focusing arm down to the top surface of the main machine. I'll start out by just starting a couple threads on each of these fasteners before tightening them down all the way. That'll give me some wiggle room to make sure that all 4 fasteners get started properly. I'm now ready to install the manual adjust knob on the top of the assembly. The parts needed for this come in a parts bag that has the knob, a screw, a metal washer, and a plastic washer. The plastic washer goes on the very top, and when I flip this knob open, it reveals the mounting hole that the metal washer will go into, and then finally the fastener on top of that. I'll turn that until it pops on. And it's a snug fit. Now ready to install that final screw. The last step of the assembly is to attach the laser head up to the focusing mechanism. I want to make sure that this is untwisted, no kinks in it before I place it onto the focusing mechanism. This looks good, and this might be an area where you may want to enlist a little bit of help, but I think I've got this. Here's the completed machine. This only took a couple minutes to put together, and it's pretty straightforward. Now, some of you with a keen eye might be asking when I put this on, did I make sure that the laser head is perfectly squared up to this matrix of holes here? And the answer to that is no. I'm going to be setting that up, getting the final alignment of the head to the workbed area when I install the software. I'm going to frame out a nice box. I'm going to use the reference holes here to do any minor adjustments on the movement of the head to make sure that I've got perfect alignment between these 2 components.